This is the kind of relationship that you see other content creators and they're like, oh, look at me. And they show their significant other off like a trophy piece. And the next thing you know, you hear the story of behind the scenes, there's strife, they're breaking up, or they're in an open relationship. It's like, what the f is wrong with you?
Now, you know I couldn't let an opportunity like this slide. DSP being thankful for once? How could I pass up seeing such a spectacle?
Things that I am thankful for. All right. And with this segment, it's going to be silly, but it's going to be fun as well, because there's going to be some stuff you guys are going to like poke fun at. I know for a fact you're going to poke fun at me for it. But other things are things that you haven't seen, but I've talked about, and I feel like you would like to see and enjoy firsthand. Because again, I want you guys to understand something. All right. All these improvements in my life are because of you, because you guys have been so positive and so supportive. Some of you have been longtime viewers and fans, and this year you just stayed the course and you couldn't believe the new positivity. Neither could I, right? But some of you are newcomers. Like some of you guys, I hadn't even known about you until just a few months ago when you basically learned about me from guys like Kino Casino, right? And then maybe there's some crossover there when I did interviews with various people like Keemstar and stuff like that. Some of you have heard about me from various different sources, correct? But it's awesome now to have all of you here and supporting and making my life so much better. And I want to tell you how thankful I am for that. So,
And to my surprise, he's actually off to a half-decent start. I think that he lost it a bit there when he started talking about himself and all of the people that he's collabed with. Clearly all of that was for his own ego, but this is DSP. I also thought that it was a bit odd to describe his long-term fans as staying the course. I know it's not always meant to have a negative connotation, but in my head, it does. Overall though, like I said, kind of an impressive start coming from the guy. I just can't wait to see how it all goes downhill.
what I like to do is show you some of the things that have improved around here, that some of which I've talked about, some of which I haven't. You'll probably get a kick out of this segment, and of course the haters will meme it. Too bad, because fuck you. I got so much positivity this year, and now you got to choke on it. Okay?
And just like that, this whole segment is tainted with spite and resentment. This is supposed to be an appreciation segment, and this guy is still so concerned with his online trolls he can't help himself. It's almost impressive how he can't just have one honest or earnest moment on stream without ruining it by being toxic. Obviously, the trolls are going to make fun of him, that's what they do, but he shouldn't be acknowledging it in the middle of a genuine moment like this. It's just a terrible look, and it brings unnecessary vitriol towards him that I genuinely don't think would have been there the same way.
First off, all right, here is something that I have absolutely never revealed to anyone, because it's such a silly little thing. It's not a big deal, but it's definitely something that has improved as a result of all of your support. So let me go ahead and show you this. It's Virtua Fighter Phil. No, I'm just kidding. It is my shower. Whoa! Whoa! What I'm showing you here is that basically I totally redid my entire shower from scratch. So that shower head, that shower bar, the curtain, everything is all new. All right. And instead of cheaping out and getting a crappy shower, I got a really good one. It's one of those crazy heads that goes to like 5 different settings. And then you see that thing on the side of it that's sticking up. You're like, what the hell is that? That's called a water comb. So when you're washing your hair, you actually detach that and you do this. You actually comb your hair with water and it rinses your head. It's really nice. The other thing I really like about that shower head, it has a special pulse setting that feels like someone is giving you a back massage. I'm not kidding. Like it's like boom, 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 but it's heavy, heavy pressure. So you can stand in the shower like, oh man, you can move around like this. And you just get, it hits you in every spot, your arms, your back, your ass. Like, oh, this is so good. It feels so good.
Now, I don't mean to be one of those creepy stalker weirdos or whatever, but since he made it a segment, I just typed in showerhead with water comb combo on Amazon. And I think that these two showerheads seem pretty similar to me, and DSP is a very frequent Amazon customer, so I think that it's safe to assume that this is the showerhead that he purchased. It's even got the power pulse massage mode that he was talking about, in case you needed further evidence. Again, I did almost no searching, just using the very basic info that he's shown here. Now, I don't think that it personally matters what showerhead he bought. What's more interesting is the price of the product itself. $56 on a Cyber Monday deal, but even at full price, only $90. Now, I don't want to misrepresent the guy. He did also get a shower bar and shower curtain, which, if you work with me here, I also think that I found on Amazon. For all of my audio style listeners, both of those things cost about $20 a piece. And even if these aren't the exact items in question, I think that they're appropriate stand-ins for my point, which is this guy is up here strutting his stuff because he was able to acquire $150 worth of Amazon essential bathroom products. I'm happy that he's being thankful, don't get me wrong, but this is an adult man who has justified years of gacha game addiction, celebrating that after years he was finally able to scrounge up $150 to swap his shower head and replace his shower curtain. I'd tell you that he lost the plot somewhere along the way, but that's been made more than obvious by now. Because this really is just normal routine things that people do all of the time in their homes. Are DSPWs really so few and far between that this is worthy of a pop-off?
Now, I'm just so happy because a lot of the stuff in my house, no exaggeration, is 10 years old. The old shower rod, shower curtain, not the liner, of course, the liner you have to change, but all the shit that used to be in my bathroom, basically, you know, it was old, very old. Now I was able to upgrade to better equipment. Even the ring on the wall, you see where the pipe is going into the wall, that ring that goes around it, that's new too.
Wow.
I bought a new one. All right. So I know this is silly. It's not meant to be, don't go crazy. Like, wow, is Phil serious right now? I'm showing you some stuff that's new in my house. This is not a super serious segment. I hope you understand that. Okay. But I just wanted to show you, this is something that definitely has improved this year. Okay.
Why does he feel the need to clarify that this isn't serious? I thought that he was trying to be appreciative and thankful for his recent home upgrades. Now it's not serious at all and you shouldn't go crazy. This is just stuff in his house, you guys. What an odd way to present this whole thing.
What you're seeing here is my actual laptop desk that sits in front of me when I stream. I have never shown this to you guys like this before. Okay. And the reason I'm showing you this is a couple things. Number one, you can see my level 1 podcast mug there. And, of course, today, I'm wearing the Red Dead Redemption style DSP logo, right? That's one of the cool things that's new. Merch. I have not had merchandise, guys, since 2021. Because of my trolls and the harassment that they gave me on the internet, basically all those companies wouldn't work with me anymore. They actually believed the nonsense, the slander against me, saying I'm a bigot and I'm a racist. As you guys know, every day I'm coming on stream, and all I do is I say bigoted, racist things. That's why I'm known as the king of hate, right, everybody? Everyone knows me as a horrendous person who's just constantly bringing down other races, yes. But that's what they told these companies. And the companies are so brain dead stupid and so woke and so eager to cancel someone for something someone else says, they kicked me out and stopped making merch.
Upon my original viewing of this, I had tuned out, thinking about how a friend of mine had said DSP had negative mouse space on his little desk here. A very amusing observation. But by the time that I had tuned back into what DSP was actually saying, he was talking about how people are saying he's a bigot and a racist, and that he started ranting about how merch companies are woke and looking to cancel everybody. It was just really jarring, considering this is supposed to be the American Thanksgiving appreciation style segment. It's like he's incapable of talking for any period of time without going on some toxic meltdown about how everyone hates him and he's some sort of underdog.
But this year, I was able to find a company who didn't want to listen to any of the nonsense, who knew who I was ahead of time, who knew I wasn't like that and I wasn't that kind of person. And they said, yes, we will work with you. So now I can have that mug and I can have this sweatshirt and I can sell t-shirts and you guys can enjoy merch as well for the first time in so long, all right?
And the too long didn't read for the entire bit is that he's just happy to have found another avenue to get money from his audience. Because that's what it really boils down to. You think DSP really cares if people are out here wearing his merch? Of course not. If he did, he would have put more time and effort into the designs. That merch plug right there was nothing more than a way for him to rant and extract more cash at the end of the day.
But in addition, what I wanted to show you there was the keyboard and mouse. That's actually my current keyboard and mouse that I'm using to broadcast. This keyboard is a Logitech keyboard, and it's a pretty high-end keyboard. As you can see, it's pulsating with RGB right now on camera. See that? And this mouse is a Logitech mouse. It also has RGBs that it pulsates with. They're pretty high-end stuff, and they're great. And this is my equipment that I use every day now for my setup.
Again, glad to see him appreciating the things that he has, but it's hard to believe when he doesn't even know the names of his equipment. I'm not saying that you have to know the name of every part that goes into your car to appreciate that you have a nice car, but the only thing that he could tell you about his keyboard or his mouse is that they are high-end, whatever that means to you, and they have RGBs that pulsate. For the record, his mouse is a Logitech G502. I have the same mouse, I really enjoy it, and I do recommend it. It does far more than just pulse RGBs. But why didn't he know that? If he's so appreciative of the items that he was able to acquire this year, all of the upgrades, all of the peripherals, he doesn't even know the names?
Everything else there is old. Like the microphone's actually 10 years old, but maybe I'll upgrade it eventually, right? That little mouse that you see right there is this one, and this is also brand new. This is a little portable mouse, flat one, that I use to do my capture streaming setup while the other stuff controls my gaming PC. All right, so that's number 2. This you've already seen if you watched my stream the other night, but just as a focus and a close-up here, this is my current gaming PC with the RGBs going crazy. To the left of it is my brand spanking new capture and streaming PC. And to the far right, if you can see it there, kind of cramped to the side, is the new battery backup UPS power supply that I also just bought. So again, the gaming PC was donated to me, but the new PC, the power supply, all that stuff, the cords on the floor, all that stuff I bought my own money that you guys, supported me with, okay?
And just look at this absolute fire hazard. He's got two massive PCs, wires draped every direction possible, sitting right next to all of his other electronics, including his battery backup. I do have to show a little bit of appreciation for the mats that DSP has so graciously placed under the PCs so they're not directly on the floor. Thank God for that, I guess. But with DSP spraying water at Jasper in this mess, as well as Jasper trying to eat the wires all of the time, I think that those plastic mats are too little too late. It's just an absolute mess to have sitting in the middle of a room that is already quite small as it is. But did you notice the way that he tried to separate the gaming PC because that was donated to him? Meanwhile, all of the other things were purchased with the money that he was given by his audience. I don't personally see a big difference between those two designations, but whatever helps him sleep at night, I guess.
So thank you. What a setup. Now, of course, these two PCs will not be sitting next to each other when I actually get everything working. What'll happen is the gaming PC will stay on that side of the room where it is, and the capture streaming PC will be over here to my left, and the capture device will likely be sitting in the middle, which is where it is right now. It's actually the old capture device is sitting in the middle of my floor. Probably the new capture device will be sitting in the middle of the floor as well. I don't know what else to do about that. I have to run cables with an external capture device, right? Pretty cool.
What does he mean there's nothing that he could do? It's his setup, and he's changing it right now. The fix really could be something as simple as getting longer cables on the one end and shorter cables on the other, as to not have the box in the middle of the room, but instead just cables. That's not a proper solution by any means, but it's better than just throwing his hands up in the air and claiming that there's nothing that he could do. The box must be center stage. And that's really the most frustrating thing about all of his stream upgrades and PC migration nonsense. He's just so unwilling to do anything for his own benefit. It's only through the kindness of strangers that DSP is even able to continue to live in the world the way that he does. He's incapable of positioning his own equipment in real life. He's also incapable of setting up his own OBS, and apparently he's incapable of transferring files without having his hand held. So how does DSP have the gall to call himself a professional streamer on a regular basis when this is how he operates? I suppose that being a professional can simply mean that you get paid for what you do, not that you have any actual knowledge or expertise in the field.
By the way, I received a $2.25 tip from Mr. Puffy Nipples. How much would it cost to fix your master bathroom? Probably a ton. I have a very sneaking suspicion that the pipe in my master bathroom behind the shower was leaking and caused a big mold problem behind the wall, which would mean the entire removal of the wall, cleaning the mold out, and then rebuilding the wall. Also, the whole shower system, the caulk had worn out around it, and water was leaking there, and I believe there's mold there too. So essentially, the entire shower would need to be removed from the ground at like 20 grand. That's my guess. Plus, the bathroom itself is ancient and outdated and messed up. I would want to redo the floors. I would want to redo the cabinetry. I would probably want to redo the fixtures, like the lighting. So probably it's a full redo, which is probably even more expensive. So I'm not looking to redo my master bathroom anytime soon. That would be something for way down the line. Maybe if I refinance my home, if the economy turns around or something.
So for anyone who was under the assumption that the shower head that was replaced earlier was for his broken bathroom, you were wrong. That shower is apparently still completely unusable and has a mold problem that DSP has just accepted living with at this point. Now, I don't want to tell another grown man what particulates he can or can't breathe in, given my field of work, but I've been told that mold spores are not ideal for one's health. And while I can also understand not caring about one's own health, you'd think that he would take into consideration his significant mother or son Jasper, but apparently not. The mold is here to stay, folks.
Okay, so that's all my PC equipment right now, and gonna have it hopefully up and running very soon. Here you go. Dark Mega says, I used to help my cousin who does bathroom remodeling. It's around $20,000 just for the shower area. There you go. Continuing on. This is my new ceiling fan here in the office. I've been talking about it recently. You've seen the light. I mean, in fact, you want to see the light? You've seen the light. And now the light's going away. You've seen enough of the light. But the fan is great. The fan definitely cools this office down, circulates the air well. I don't need to have the oscillating fan blowing on me anymore. Now, I very well may need an oscillating fan when it gets warmer, but for now, this is absolutely perfect. It's really good. I mean, this is what you need for a room like this. It's absolutely perfect. And I hope that you guys Understand. Again, something like this, it's innocuous. It's a fan. What's the big deal? No, honestly, this really improves the setup. It makes it livable in here. It used to be stuffy and just always feeling like you're inside of a small box that's just, oh, the air quality is terrible. Just having a fan to move the air. All right? To move the air. It's very nice in here. All right?
Amazing. Truly riveting, DSP. Thank you for describing what a huge difference a ceiling fan can make, as if no one has ever experienced a ceiling fan before. This is exactly the kind of top-notch commentary and information you can expect to get regularly from DSP Space Gaming. I mean, do you know any other content creator that's going to give his ceiling fan a shout out during his Thanksgiving special for keeping the air circulation going? I didn't think so.
It's mid-spin. Exactly. I took a picture mid-spin, but my camera was good, so it actually kind of freeze-framed it, which is really nice. Yeah, Iron Chef Sakai is commenting. He says, damn, you still have the weird bendy lights. That used to be my old lighting. Like, no exaggeration. I didn't have a ring light like I have today. I didn't have a ceiling fan. I had a freaking college dorm bendy light. I'm going to get rid of it now because I don't need it anymore. I have a ceiling fan. I have the ring light. And by the way, I have new lighting coming this weekend. I think it's coming on Saturday now. It's not a ring light, but you know how they make those lights now that are like big rectangles? And they have, they're really good. Everyone uses them now for streaming. And I'm going to try to attach it to my desk here as an arm. I'm going to try to put it right here. And not only does it do all different kinds of lighting for filming, but also it does RGB. So if I wanted to do fancy effects, like RGB effects and stuff, I could do that too. And it's all programmable to my phone with an app. So I'd be able to like mess around. It's going to be pretty cool. And that's coming over the weekend. So.
And it wouldn't be a DSP segment if he wasn't fawning over the next product that he can't wait to consume. Because the ring light wasn't good enough. He needs what all of the hip streamers have, some sort of rectangular light setup with more settings. Never mind the fact that these lighting upgrades do essentially nothing for his content and that all of his shortcomings are character flaws. Ignore that, because obviously this new lighting is going to fix everything and you're going to love it. It's going to be so cool. His streams really are the equivalent of throwing a new coat of paint on a car that has a transmission issue. It doesn't matter how flashy it looks on the outside if the internals are still faulty.
That is true. Super Bon John says, remember, you now have blackout curtains. I didn't take a picture of the blackout curtains. Wait, no, yes, I did. What the? I inadvertently did. We're staring at them. Those are my blackout curtains. So like you can see how it looks silver and metallic? It is. The back of the curtains is silver and reflective. So when the sun is hitting the office wall, it bounces the sunlight back, causing a cooling effect. The sun no longer heats up the office in the afternoons. However, there is a double-edged sword there. It keeps the air insulated. So basically, it doesn't get as hot as it used to, but it still stays kind of warm when it's hot outside. That's why I also needed like the fan and everything else. So there you go. Those are my blackout curtains, which you have never seen before. You're actually seeing the other oscillating fan there too, standing there. And my ceiling fan. Okay?
I just want to remind everybody that this is a Thanksgiving appreciation segment. I felt inclined to remind you because I don't think that I've ever seen anyone explain how much they appreciate their curtains before in such useless detail. And I will acknowledge now that he does go on later to talk about his wife and cat, but isn't it so odd that he opened with the material objects in his home, all of which are non-essential to living? Again, appreciate all of the niceties that you have in your life, absolutely, but I don't know that publicly doing it is necessarily the best way to do it. At least as far as optics are concerned in this situation.
Pretty cool. Yes, it is official. As of today, Thanksgiving 2024, DSP has exposed himself. He has shown his washer dryer that he bought, showing that I was not lying, that we did spend a pretty penny and got a new washer dryer. See, I backed my shit up. I didn't lie. I actually did get a new washer dryer. All right? These are LG, and these are pretty top of the line. Meaning these are not even like the big, these are like the high-end models, expanded, capacity. So you can fit way, way more in these, all right, than you could in a normal washer dryer. And the reason that we did that is because with the old ones that I used to have, we used to have a problem with the comforter. Like we'd have a comforter for our bed, you'd put it in, and it would constantly clog up saying uneven load, uneven load. Like, oh, come on. So it would take all day to wash the comforter because you'd have to keep resetting the cycle. With this one, it's super extra big capacity, so it never actually says uneven load. We put a ton of shit in there, and it doesn't actually do anything.
I'm not going to claim to be an expert when it comes to washing or drying machines. I have a pair. They work. They don't give me issues. What more could I ask for? But what DSP is explaining now and has explained before is he went and got an entirely new washer and dryer combo because his comforter, an item known for throwing up an uneven load error, was in fact doing exactly that, throwing up an uneven load error. This minor issue resulted in him making a multi-$1,000 purchase. I can understand if there were other signs of general dysfunction dysfunction with the units, but DSP has never said that there were any other issues other than this uneven load error. And trust me, if there were other issues, DSP would have absolutely have made sure to bring it up. It's prime begging material. How could he have resisted? And now that I'm thinking about it during the editing process, hi Atlas from the future, I don't think that he's ever even stated that there was an issue wrong with both units. He's only ever expressed an issue with the washing machine. So why did he go and get a new dryer as well if he had no issues? This whole thing is actually less logical than I originally thought.
In that regard. And it's really nice. And the dryer has all these nice features. The dryer has a steam ability. So let's say, for example, you wash a load of clothes, you dry them, but then you don't get to fold them right away. Because right, well, you're not pictured here. We have a nice big new hamper that we bought that we throw the clothes in, and then later on we pull them out, we fold them, put them away. But what if you don't get a chance to do that right away? Well, then they're gonna get all wrinkly, right? Well, you toss them back into the dryer and you press steam cycle, and it steams your clothes and gets all the wrinkles out. Cool.
I'm not buying for a single second that the guy who wears button-down shirts with PJ bottoms gives a single shit about the wrinkles in his clothes. Ignore the fact that he only leaves his house once a week, if that. Just off of the general way that he carries himself, you can tell the steam setting that he's talking about right now will never be used.
These are awesome. Like I said, these are very expensive. These were over $1,000 each. Okay, and then on top of that, tax, delivery. And by the way, if you're thinking about getting a washer dryer, I just got to warn all of you. All right, you ready for this? They hit you with so many hidden fees that you're not aware of. So you go to check out to buy the washer dryer, and they're like, oh, well, you're aware you have to buy a whole new kit. You have to get the new water lines, the new electrical cords, the ties, everything. You're like, wait, I have to get what? Yeah, you have to buy all that new. They won't even install it with the old shit in your house. They make you buy new ones for your new washer dryer, and that costs hundreds of dollars. Like the kit for one was like $78. The kit for the other was like $60, $70. They just charge you out the ass. All right. And then on top of that, then there's removal of the old washer dryer. That's like $80. Like what? So by the time you're done, you're like, oh, it's going to cost me $2,000 to get a new washer dryer. No, it's over $3,000. Like, damn.
Once again, DSP just acknowledging that he overspent for convenience like he always does. I've never had a washer or dryer put it in, but I had to buy a stove and put it in myself when I first moved in. And yes, they will charge you more to install all new this or that or the other because they won't install on old equipment. But that's the thing, you don't have to have them install it. If you're even remotely competent and familiar with the lines and pipes you already have given your current equipment, you can just install it yourself and only replace what actually needs to be replaced, if anything. The delivery fees could be avoided by simply owning a truck or knowing somebody who likes you enough to let you use their truck. And if he hadn't chose to live in his little sanctuary of a gated community, he could have just thrown his old units into the yard and within the day some scrapper would have came and hauled it away for free. Now I don't expect DSP to be capable of all of these things or even most of them, but you can see how all of the decisions that he's made up to this point have put him into this position where really his only option is to overspend and get taken advantage of. And it's only after you notice that him taking his victory lap gets all the more cringe. I think that you get the point though. DSP is obviously loving the fact that he gets to show off all of his new stuff and prove that he's some sort of responsible adult, blah blah blah. So let's finally jump to what should have been the entire segment, which is the bit about Jasper and his wife.
Of course, I'm incredibly grateful for Jasper Kitty. Now, Jasper Kitty is in here almost, a lot. You've seen him on camera quite a bit. He's our beloved pet. Yes, in many ways, he's like a son to me. And here he is napping next to our receiver for our surround sound system in the living room. Our receiver is incredibly old, like over a decade old. And here he is taking a nice little nap. I thought that you would enjoy seeing Jasper Kitty in like a super duper HD picture, right? He's so funny. He goes everywhere. He'll sleep next to there. He'll sleep on the floor. Then he'll sleep at our legs. Then he'll snuggle us. Then he'll go sleep in his cat tree. He's so unpredictable. You never know what Jasper Kitty's going to do.
And that's pretty much it for the Jasper part. He's apparently crazy and wild because he sleeps in one spot and then sleeps in a different spot later. I personally thought that that was normal cat behavior, but if DSP wants to claim it as crazy or wild, be my guest. There is technically a bit more about Jasper here, but it's not actually about him, but rather getting a good picture of him for a potential emote in the future. Not necessarily what I would describe as being thankful.
And ladies and gentlemen, last but absolutely positively not least, my wife, Kat, who changed my life when I met her in 2017. And since then, everything's been an upward climb for me. Really. I mean, I feel like ever since I met her, this has been just a dramatic improvement going up and up and up, right? I met her. I changed my life for the better. I became a full-time live streamer. I stopped being as toxic as I used to be. I stopped being that guy causing drama and problems. I started to actively try to improve my life for the better. I started eating better. I stopped drinking as much, right? I basically changed. And I mean, that goes in line here with my health as well. Like, look at me today. Versus this is when we got married in 2019. Even now, I've lost weight. I'm healthier now. I'm happier. And let me tell you, it's because of her. You understand? Because I met her. She changed my life. And I wish this kind of happiness upon everyone out there watching right now. I hope that all of you one day can find a significant other who is your better half, who compliments you perfectly, and who can change your life for the better. Because it has been such a positive life change for me.
But has it been a positive life change for her? Your health may be better, but how is she doing, Phil? While we're on the topic of health, if I'm being honest, between the two DSPs presented before me, I'd have to say that the wedding version does actually look better than current day Phil. And it's not too often that fat actually makes someone look more appealing, but DSP is just so gaunt and ghoulish now that he looks like he's aged 15 years in the span of 6. I don't want to diminish the sentiment of his words though, simply because he is a horrible excuse for a man. Everything that he said about finding a significant other who is your better half and makes you improve is all true and very positive. As a matter of fact, it's the exact kind of sentiment that a normal streamer would have started with and maintained throughout the entire segment, rather than complaining about trolls or woke merch companies like DSP does.
And every day, I know, no matter what happens, if it's a bad day, if it's a good day, if it's just an okay day, she's still going to be here with me to share the experience with me and to make it better. She's got my back and I've got hers, and that's the kind of relationship that everyone out there wants. This is the kind of relationship that you see other content creators and they're like, oh, look at me. And they show their significant other off like a trophy piece. And the next thing you know, you hear the story behind the scenes, there's strife, they're breaking up, or they're in an open relationship. It's like, what the f is wrong with you? You don't even understand what it means to be in a relationship if you have a relationship like that. It's not what it's supposed to be. You're not using each other. You're supposed to be loving each other, helping each other, and having a life experience together. Not this kind of bullshit that these people try to portray. Oh, this is the new normal. No, it's your fucked up, twisted version of what you think should be normal because you're so messed up. You don't have a real marriage. You don't have a real significant other. What you've got is some distorted version of reality that you've bastardized, and now you're trying to push it as something that's normalized when it's not. It's supposed to be two people who love each other, spending time together, and basically sharing their lives and having each other's back and always looking out for each other no matter what in every single situation, period. That's love, at least in my opinion. You can disagree. But when I hear about these other content creators and streamers, and, oh yeah, get this open relationship. Well, you're a moron. You're an actual moron, and that's why it always comes back to bite them in the end. It always falls apart.
Well said, DSP. I have no idea what the hell that has to do with appreciating your own wife and being thankful, but I also don't condone degeneracy, so I'm glad that we can finally agree on something as we wrap up this amazing Thanksgiving-style segment. He does go on to thank his audience once again, but it's the same, thanks to you guys paying my bills, I get to live nonsense that he always does. Hopefully you enjoyed this not-so-thankful segment, and hopefully your holiday was pleasant if you did celebrate. Please come back for the next one. Until then, be safe. Goodbye.
Whoa! Whoa!